There was only one thought in Syra's mind. She wanted to reach home quickly, tell her mother everything, and then sit peacefully with a cup of tea. But some moments in life do not happen according to our plans. Fate often writes its own story. As soon as Syra stepped out of the lift, the handle of her shopping bag got stuck in one of the buttons inside. She pulled it with force, trying to free it. At that same moment, a young man entered the lift holding a cup of hot coffee. Syra and Ayan collided badly. Syra lost her balance, and Ayan's coffee cup slipped from his hand. In the next second, the hot coffee spilled all over Syra's newly bought dress. For a moment, both of them stood frozen. Syra looked at her stained clothes in shock and anger.
Oh no, my new dress! Can't you walk carefully? In such a big lift, was I the only person you could bump into? Her voice carried both anger and sadness. Ayan quickly fixed the cup in his hand and looked nervously at her dress. Then he looked at his own shirt, which was safe, and suddenly a mischievous smile appeared on his face. "If you carry the whole market with you," he said playfully, "then traffic jams are bound to happen. And honestly, this coffee design doesn't look bad. Very modern." Syra glared at him. "This is not a design. This is my whole month ruined. Do you know how expensive this dress was? I bought it with great difficulty." Ayan raised his hands lightly. All right. Don't be so angry. Anger won't remove the stain." "And your jokes won't help either," she replied sharply. "I'm not joking," he said. "Just trying to lighten the mood. I can buy you another coffee." "I don't want coffee," Syra said coldly. "I want my dress, and next time, stay out of my way."
She walked away angrily. But this was only the beginning. The next morning, Syra got ready for work. Yet she kept looking at the stained dress. It hurt her heart. It had been expensive, and that shameless man had laughed about it. She entered the lift again. Just as the doors were about to close, a hand stopped them. Ayan stepped inside, and once again, he was holding coffee. The moment Syra saw him, she turned her face away in annoyance. "Oh, it's you again," Ayan smiled. "Looks like fate likes bringing us together." "This is not fate," she said. "This is your shamelessness." "Today I came carefully," he replied. "The coffee will stay far away from your clothes." "I don't have a problem with your coffee," Syra said. "I have a problem with you." Ayan laughed. "Wow, such feelings already?" "Feelings?" she said angrily. "Stop dreaming. Even talking to you is a waste of time." "And yet," he said softly, "you are talking to me." Days passed. Soon it became a routine. Whenever Syra entered the lift, Ayan was somehow there. Whenever Ayan entered, anger appeared in Syra's eyes. Sometimes he carried an empty coffee cup just to tease her. Sometimes he pressed the lift buttons and said, "Madam, first floor or straight to my heart?" At first, Syra thought he was only annoying. But slowly, she began to notice something else. Behind all the jokes, Ayan had a kind heart. One day, she saw him giving a bottle of water to the building guard and speaking to him with respect. Syra thought to herself, maybe he is not that bad. His tongue just talks too much. One evening, Syra stood alone on the rooftop, watching the sunset. The sky was orange, and a cool breeze moved gently around her. Her heart felt strangely peaceful. Then, a voice came from behind. "If you are planning to jump from here," Ayan said, "first return the coffee your clothes drank that day." Syra sighed. Will you never stop following me? If I stop, he said, what will happen to your anger? I've become used to it now. Then he became serious. To be honest, it wasn't the coffee's fault that day. It was fate's fault. The fate that made me meet you. Cyrus smiled faintly. You really are strange. Not strange, he said. Just honest. Then he asked softly. Cyrus looked at him for a moment. Hello, and forgive me, he said. For that day, and for my sharp tongue. I can forgive you, she replied. But on one condition. What condition? From today onward, if you want to drink coffee, drink it at home. Not in the lift. Ayan laughed. Deal. After that day, everything changed. There were no more fights in the lift. Now Ayan held the door open for Syra. Sometimes he would say, Syra, you look beautiful today. She would reply, be quiet. He would ask, do you know why I drink coffee every day? Why? Because I feel sleepy. But ever since I met you, I don't need it as much. Time passed. Their meetings increased. Their conversations grew longer, and so did their feelings. One night, Ayan called Syra to the rooftop. The stars were shining above them. Ayan looked into her eyes and said, do you know when I fell in love with you? When? The day you angrily said people like me cause accidents. That day I thought, if this is an accident, then I want it to last forever. He stepped closer. For you, I can change not just coffee, I can change my whole life. Then he asked, will you walk with me? Cyrus smiled shyly. Yes, but on one condition. Ayan laughed. Another condition? Even after marriage, if you ever spill coffee again, you will wash it yourself. Accepted, he said happily.
Beautiful. Just like you,
A few months later, Syra and Ayan were married.
And I you forever.
The same building, the same lift. But everything had changed. People would smile and say, look, these are the same two people who used to fight in the lift. Sometimes, an angry girl becomes the greatest happiness of life. And sometimes, a teasing man becomes the best husband. That lift accident, which once felt like a disaster to Syra, became the most beautiful love story of their lives. The story ended, but their love continued.